Now it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Hey, welcome to Movie Friends. I'm here with my friend Michelle Rubenstein, who just fried some fresh crullers.
And I'm here with my friend Seth Vargas, who is traveling in disguise.
I wish I could, but it's hard to disguise this mug.
All you do, Seth, is turn that mustache upside down. Just twirl it up, and we won't know who you
are. It's a different
are.
guy.
Wow. It's Beth.
Speaking of disguises, you had your annual Halloween party this year.
I did.
This week, I mean.
Yes. It was great. I'm really proud of this one. We had a lot of fun. I went as Jack Skellington, and husband went as the mayor. I made all the doors in my hallway the holiday doors.
Very
and then the bathroom door was Christmastown. And so when you entered the bathroom, you just entered Christmas. It was fully decorated Christmas, and we had playing What's This on loop.
That's crazy.
And you couldn't hear it when you were outside the door. No, so when people opened, they were like fully surprised. Yeah, it was really magical. And like Amp made his costume, the mayor's face, he used a lampshade, which I'm super proud of him. And I'm pretty proud of how I looked as Jack Skellington. So.
Yeah, you guys, everyone, you sent me photos. Sadly, I was not able to make it.
No,
this
you were
year.
missed. You and Jean were very missed.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Everyone looked good. Hey, speaking of people being places, did we get any new patrons this week?
We did. Nick.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Movie Friends Patreon Circle Family Crew.
That's not a Patreon theme, but I was just trying to do something.
I like it. It's the welcome tune. This is what happens when you enter Movie Friends. Welcome, Nick. How did you find us? What made you join? Wow. Thanks, Nick.
You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and usually people are like, hey, shout out to this person for signing up. And then you and I are like, shout out to this person. And then we launch an investigation. We're like, who are you? Join our Discord. Tell us everything about yourself. Come to our Halloween party.
Hey, I'm genuinely curious. Like, what makes a person join our Patreon?
I am too.
You know?
That's why we have our show is the way that it is. We're
know.
interested in people and friends.
Yes,
we're
true.
like Conan O'Brien needs a friend, except it's just us, and we're like, does anyone want to talk to us?
Right.
And speaking of people and talking to us and just excitement and people who should have their own theme song, you got a crazy package in the mail this week.
We got a crazy package, and not really that it's crazy, but you're right. Kate should have her own theme song. Kate sent us a Halloween care package that had pickle taffy in it.
Amazing.
Stickers that have pickles on them and say pickle tally.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, my heart explodes. And then a spreadsheet of her following along and trying to figure out the decoder ring and the messages that you provide.
Mm-hmm.
You provided at the end of every episode.
Yep.
Starting from January. Amazing.
Which is very exciting.
It's so exciting.
Yes. And I don't think that Kate knew this, but one of the last messages to go out when you decode it, this is a spoiler alert, said to send me something in the mail. And so I don't think that Kate realized that she actually did the thing that she was supposed to do in order to get the next piece of the puzzle. So that's very exciting.
That's how great Kate is, though.
Listen.
I love Kate. Thank you so much.
I don't have favorites, but I do have a Kate.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, but honestly, it's so true because when I went to the post office to get the package, I was just having like a blah day. And then I saw that and I was like, oh my God, it lifted my spirits. It was such a nice surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Kate. Truly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome. And I cannot wait until the next time we see each other so that we can eat the pickle taffy.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Last big piece of news here.
Yes.
You know, you and I became a business.
Yeah.
Much earlier this year with the sole intent of launching a Movie Friends merch store. And then we did it.
It's finally here.
It's out. The link is, I don't know, Michelle, where is it?
The link is going to be in the show notes for you, but it's also going to be posted on our Patreon, which, this is a reminder, Michelle posted on Patreon. We should post it in our Discord too. Like, we've been really bad advertising.
Probably on our
it.
website.
Probably on our website. Well, Seth, you posted it on Twitter, right?
I did. I did. Yeah.
And I posted it nowhere except to Seth's text messages. So
that's right. You know what? We were like, let people discover it on their own.
Yeah, they'll stumble upon it.
But hey, there's some fun designs in there. And you know what? Maybe you're like, hey, I like this show, but I don't want to wear like a shirt that says Movie Friends. Well, we have some other designs in there that don't really have anything to do with this. It just has to do with movie stuff. So, check it out.
Yeah.
Hey, we got an email.
Email.
Subject line is The Happening.
Oh, gosh.
We're going all the way back to Shyamalan.
Great. Let me be haunted again by that situation.
Email says, Dum Dum Lollipop made me laugh out loud. And I think in that episode, you called yourself Dum Dum Lollipop?
I call myself a Dum Dum Lollipop all the time. Okay,
the email says, when I watched this, I declared Shyamalan's career over. Wow. Seth has convinced me to watch this from a different perspective.
Wow.
How Michelle reacts to this was literally me. I love how much Michelle loves Bigfoot. And guess what, listeners? Michelle is wearing a Bigfoot sweatshirt right now. And I think this is something that people might not know about you.
Oh, goodness.
We've talked about it a lot, but like Michelle is Bigfoot land.
A Bigfoot enthusiast.
Yeah, very, very much.
Yeah.
P.S. I would get a Bigfoot tattoo with you guys.
I've contemplated getting a Bigfoot tattoo in a DeLorean.
Whoa, wow.
Like, that's...
See, I was thinking something real simple, and you went way more extreme.
Well, that's where my head went, but if it would have... I'd have to make it work. But I would get a little Bigfoot, because that's funny.
Right. PSS, what are each of your favorite movies that you've covered to date on the podcast? And you know what I'm going to say to this email writer and to everyone else? Send us some emails with questions like this, because January's coming, 4th year starting episode. This is some good stuff to cover, for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, we got something coming in November.
We do.
Which this will be good. So we'll cover this question later.
Okay.
PSSS, OMG, I love the Wheel of Voices. Thank you.
Thank you.
And PSSSS, I was Kitty White for Halloween. And I had to look this up, and apparently Kitty White is the full name of Hello Kitty.
Oh, I should know that.
And apparently Hello Kitty is just a little girl who wears a cat
not a cat.
Mask.
Yes.
How is that possible?
I just refuse to accept it.
And that email was from Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
So before we get into our discussion on The Wizard of Oz, we are going to try to guess what the other host is going to rate the movie. Okay, I feel like I'm shooting in the dark a little bit here, but I'm locked in. My pen is down. My book is closed.
I'm locked in too.
So today we are talking about The Wizard of Oz from 1939, directed by a bunch of people, credited to Victor Fleming, written by Florence Ryerson, Edgar Allan Wolfe, Noel Langley, based on the story by L. Frank Baum, but this was also written by several other people. I've heard up to 12. Edited by Blanche Sewell, cinematography by Harold Rawson, composed by Harold Arlen, costume design by Adrian Greenberg. Starring Judy Garland, Margaret Hamilton, Ray Bolger, Jack Haley, Burt Lahr, and Frank Morgan. Michelle, you want to skip down the Yellow Brick Road and read us a summary?
Dorothy Gale is running away. At least she was. Now, she's trying to get home to her Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, but her and her dog, Toto, are caught in a terrible tornado. The tornado transports Dorothy, Toto, and their house to the magical land of Oz, where trees talk, lions are cowardly, and the coroners sing their confirmations of death. Dorothy and Toto will travel the Yellow Brick Road, making enemies and friends on their way to the Emerald City to meet the one person that can help them get home, the Wizard of Oz.
All right, we're here.
Man.
How are you feeling?
Well, before we started recording, I told you that this movie is my worst nightmare.
I'm so curious as to why.
Because on the one hand, it's a feast for your eyes. It's a feast for your brain to research and learn. And then that's also what makes it a nightmare, because it is so overwhelming to consume everything about this movie. And you shouldn't have to feel like you need to do that. But when you do a podcast, you feel you want to do your duty and know as much as possible. Now you've watched this movie every single day for a week?
So, okay, yeah. So I didn't know what you meant by like, this is a nightmare. And so I was like, oh my God, like, does Michelle hate this movie or something like that?
No.
But hearing you explain that just now, I agree with you 100%. And that is why for the last week, maybe even more than a week, I'm not sure. But basically, as soon as we transitioned out of Twilight, immediately after finishing my last watch through of Breaking Dawn, I went straight into Wizard of Oz. And my new movie watching for this week has just plummeted, like almost nothing, because all I've been doing is rewatching The Wizard of Oz and then watching a lot of like Wizard of Oz adjacent things. I watched the 1995 made for TV benefit concert starring Jewel as Dorothy and Nathan Lane as the Cowardly Lion, because I was in the same boat as you are, where it's like, this is such a big movie. This is one of the capital M movies, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so we always want to do our best and do our due diligence. And like I said earlier, I listen to a lot of movie podcasts, and it's so frustrating when you're listening to people and it's like they don't remember who said what, or they don't remember why something happened, or they'll base a whole, angry spiel on something that they like remembered wrong, right? So we always try to do our best, but genuinely with The Wizard of Oz, there's too much. There's too much stuff.
Yeah, and I don't like to feel overwhelmed, and I have felt very overwhelmed for the last week.
Yeah.
And I have expressed it to Anthony, and especially too going into my Halloween party. And I'm not complaining, but like my head was like in Halloween and Nightmare Before Christmas, and I was like, but I really should be in Wizard of Ozland and I can't get there. And oh my God, I'm just very overwhelmed. I'm very stressed. I am very stressed out over this. And I was like, Michelle, it's a movie podcast.
Wizard of Oz next year.
I thought about it. I thought about this would be a great theme. And
you could do a yellow brick road throughout your whole house and then throughout your whole backyard. And there's little stations along the way.
Oh, trust me, Sethala. I have thought about how I would do a Wizard of Oz party. Yes. And last year I saw Wicked. We covered it on the podcast. And that kickstarted me going down a Wizard of Oz wormhole of learning everything I could about it. And so I haven't been back there since then. And besides the Wizard of Oz, the only other iteration of it, like I've never read the books, is Wicked. And Wicked's not even canon to the story. So it's just a lot.
Right. Nightmare Before Christmas kind of has a Wizard of Oz vibe to it.
A lot
where
of
you have a
things
guy
have.
who's he's so ho-hum about where he lives and what he's doing with his life. And he and his dog run away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he enters this magical, colorful world. And he's like, oh my God, everything has changed and different. The story diverts from there. But in Wicked, you and I watched that last year. Did an episode on it. We're going to do another one when the second one comes out. I was thinking about, yes, like the events are not canon, but how they really take the spirit of this movie, which I think one of the big points of The Wizard of Oz, which there are many, it doesn't boil down to one thing, is perception, and just how everything is like how you look at it. Everything is how you look at it.
Yeah.
And, in Wicked, they make Elphaba out to be evil and the Wicked Witch. And, the message comes down from the wizard at the end of the first part to be like, she's evil. And anyway, but yes, everything is kind of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I just today, as I was driving to the store, I thought I should make a quick list of just like 25 different things that reference the Wizard of Oz in pop culture. And I get to the store and this like country song is playing that I've never heard before. And the chorus is something about like over the rainbow. And I just couldn't believe it. And it was in that moment that I decided I'm not going to make that list. Because it's futile, because it's everywhere. The Wizard of Oz is in our cultural DNA with how we communicate.
Yeah, it's ingrained in all of us from a very early age.
Yep.
What's your first experience with this movie?
Not liking it as a kid.
No, but like how old were you? Do you
Oh,
remember?
I can't remember, but I also can't remember a time before the Wizard of Oz. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't like this movie. I didn't like this movie as a kid. I didn't like this movie growing up. And I gotta tell you, I didn't really like this movie up until doing this episode.
Wow.
But more on that later. What about you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I have 3 very, very, very early movie viewing memories.
Okay.
VHS, not going to the theater, VHS,
Okay.
or playing on television.
Is one of them Gone with the Wind
Oh, I guess I have 4 then.
with your
Well, okay.
babysitter?
So we have Gone with the Wind, we have
Okay.
Chucky,
Wow. Woof.
we have Grease,
Okay.
and we have Wizard of Oz. And I remember seeing it, whether it was on TV or my mom put in the VHS, and being so terrified of the Wicked Witch and the flying monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't revisit it. And it wasn't something that we grew up with or watched all the time. And to be honest with you, I don't really remember the last time I sat down to watch this movie in its entirety. And yet, you know the whole movie.
Right. I think that we know the whole movie because it's referenced and clipped and parodied, and yeah, it's just kind of like I said, it's everywhere. Now, you mentioned that you went down a Wizard of Oz learning hole last year.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that you texted me this week was saying how mad you got again reading about everything Judy Garland went through.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know, listeners, the Wizard of Oz production was very troubled. Yes, you have like multiple writers, multiple directors, you have that whole part of it. But that wasn't incredibly uncommon because people more worked for studios, and your studios, it was like moving people around wherever worked best, right? Victor Fleming comes in to finish this movie, but then leaves, I think 2 weeks before they finish, to go finish Gone with the Wind for someone else who like was having difficulty working with, I think Rhett Butler,
No, it was with Clark Gable.
Oh,
and wasn't
who plays Rhett Butler? Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
You were right. And wasn't the director who went to go work on Gone with the Wind originally worked on The Wizard of Oz, and then Victor Fleming went back to release him. So we are just playing ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a revolving door of these directors.
Yeah. And then, there's the on-set accidents that happened. Margaret Hamilton, of course, is like very, very, very badly burned. The original actor for the Tin Man, who had already been filming, was inhaling the powder that they were using. So they switched from aluminum powder to aluminum paste for the next guy. Okay, like all of that stuff happens. But I think a lot of that you can kind of chalk up to just like people didn't know. Like people didn't know that asbestos was bad.
Right.
Like I've heard so many people talk about the scene where snow is falling on them in the poppies and they're like, oh, it was asbestos. Isn't that crazy? And everyone's like laughing. And I'm like, yeah, but they didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's not like they said, okay, now dump that cancer causing thing on them. Asbestos was in everything and, it literally put into the walls of schools at the time. So I think a lot of the stuff, it is crazy, but it kind of can be chalked up to just like what they knew at the time or did not know at the time.
Right. I had this thought yesterday when I was watching one of the many like documentaries about Oz. There's been so many documentaries and the making of this movie, like in terms of the behind the scenes of it. And then there's been so many versions of the story put out. Where is the TV show about the making of this movie like they did for The Godfather,
Yeah.
like The
The
Offer?
Offer. Yeah.
Give me that. Let me see the different the scripts that were written. Let me see the turn of the directors. What was it like to deal with that? Let me see the costume design. I am so fixated on the
Oh,
costuming
it's crazy.
on this watch and go around. Let's hear from Adrian. It is really hard unless you have found, but like I want a deep dive into the inspiration for the Munchkin costume since there was like 124 Munchkins and all
Yeah.
the costumes were unique and
Oh,
individual.
yeah.
What? That's
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
Yeah. And also, like, why they did that, like why they went to that length.
Right.
But then you think about the inspiration for MGM doing The Wizard of Oz, which
Yep.
the inspiration for MGM doing The Wizard of Oz, like many things that rich people do, was born out of spite. Walt Disney releases Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and it's the first feature-length animated film, right? There had been tons and tons of animation prior to this, but this is like, hey, here we go. Animated feature-length film, massive hit, most successful movie up until that point of its release. And so Louis Mayer is like, we need a Snow White. And, you know, we need to like crush this because we are MGM and we should be on top. And who is Walt Disney? I think he is. And so they're like, okay, well, what can we do? And, you know, L. Frank Baum puts out The Wizard of Oz in 1900, the first book. He puts out the first sequel, Wonderful Land of Oz, in 1904. Then Ozma of Oz in 1907. After that, he starts releasing one book a year with like one break in there until 1920. And the reason that he stopped is because he died, right? Now, when he was taking breaks from Oz books, he was still writing. Then after he died, they kept releasing new Oz books just under different authors. So by the time this movie comes out, there are 33 books in the series. So this was not like, The Wizard of Oz, that book from 39 years ago that no one's thought of. Like, people like The Wizard of Oz. They like Dorothy. They like all of these different characters. And there had been several versions of The Wizard of Oz already. There's a 1933 version that I watched. It's a cartoon, and they do the transfer from black and white to color. So I was like, oh, I wonder if this was, did they rip this off?
Right. Inspired by? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But L. Frank Baum himself, with a board of people, founded the Oz Film Manufacturing Company in 1914. And apparently, I couldn't stop laughing at this. Apparently, they wanted to make family-oriented movies because they felt that kids were watching violent westerns in 1914.
Wow.
And so they made 4 movies. That kind of folded quickly, but that turned into another company that was then purchased by MGM. And so it's said that they spent, I think it was $75,000 on the rights for the book,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot of money, like a lot of money at the time. And then the budget just like ballooned to this like astronomical number. I think by the end it was like $2.7 million or something like that.
Crazy.
And so you stop and you think like, well, why did they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? MGM had, I think they had a policy that they put out 52 movies a year. They put out 1 movie a week.
Right.
Which is insane. Even though you have this factory where you're moving directors and writers and actors and you know what I mean, that's still way too much. But I think that it was all born out of this competition and this like desire to just put something out that could rival this other thing. And one of the things people talk about is like Shirley Temple, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Shirley Temple was in the running for Dorothy. I think it was a year after this, they put out a movie called The Bluebird with Shirley Temple. not MGM, but this movie comes out. And it's a very Wizard of Oz type story, and it's Technicolor, and it's fantastical characters, and it's kids who go to a magical land. So I think everyone was just trying to like stake a claim in this, like, here's a big spectacle for children, and we're going to do it better than Disney did. Which isn't true, and basically has not remained,
Right.
no one has done it better than Disney even to this day. And listeners, if you're listening to the show for the first time, I hate Disney. I don't mean that, is my opinion. But Disney has had a stranglehold on children's entertainment for
Sure.
100 years. Anyway, back to Judy. It's horrifying, and I honestly don't know how to rectify what happened to Judy Garland with this spectacle of a movie, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I know. And just the idea of when you read about, to go back to Shirley Temple's 10,
Mm-hmm.
Judy Garland's 16.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 6 age difference. And I kept thinking to myself, like watching this, like if Shirley Temple was in this movie, if we actually used, like 16 is still a kid, very much so.
Oh, yeah.
But a young child, like a 10-year-old running around with these 3 grown men, it would have been so different to me.
Very different. Very different. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I almost want to see that
Right?
version. We are not proposing that, like, the script was written and the sets were made, and then suddenly Judy Garland comes in. Like, okay, fine, that's not really the case. But when you watch this, all of Dorothy's dialogue works for a
Yep.
10-year-old girl. Well, I guess I should say it works better for a 10-year-old girl.
Yes.
This is not how a 16-year-old, a kid,
I
but
know,
a teenager talks.
But then I kept thinking, like, a very naive 16-year-old, yes, that actually does work for me. And it's so hard, right? Because this is all we know. We only know Judy Garland as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in this version. So it's really hard to picture anyone else. But the way she balances being so sincere and so naive, to me, works beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mean to say that it doesn't work for me, but it's just like you can see it. Like I can picture Shirley Temple doing all this stuff.
There's a sadness that Judy portrays that I don't think Shirley could have done. There's so much sadness in Judy Garland as Dorothy. I can't describe, maybe sadness isn't the right word. And maybe, and this is terrible to say, but maybe it's because of all the stuff Judy is going through.
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, we
Right?
like I said, I'm having trouble like ignoring these things, and I don't have to because I have no stake in the Wizard of Oz. I don't really care.
Yeah.
We are watching on screen a child who is being starved. She's being given drugs to keep her awake, and then drugs to have her go to sleep. She's being manipulated in order to produce a product.
Mm-hmm.
They had a special waitress at the commissary that was only for Judy to make sure that she wasn't eating anything other than what she was prescribed in her diet.
And then the smoking of the cigarettes?
Smoking the cigarettes, yeah. Hey, look, like I said, we didn't know a lot, you know?
Yeah.
We're putting aluminum paint straight onto someone's face.
Right.
But it's horrible. Like it's really, really horrible. Everyone on set is physically going through it, but they're adults. And so it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different than what's happening to Judy Garland. I came to a place where I think that this movie is extremely bittersweet. And it is extremely complicated. And we cannot just pick one side of the reality to focus on. And I think that's why this is one of the defining American films. Because I think that the story of America is also very bittersweet. There's a lot of horrible stuff that we have done collectively, but look at all the stuff that we have.
Right.
Look at the spectacle of it all. Another one of the defining big points of this movie, I think, if there's two contributions that this movie has given to the world, one of them is don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
It's so horrifying that this production produced that idea as it is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, don't look at it, don't pay attention to any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, and you have the wizard behind the curtain as he's projecting an image with fire and sound, which is a film.
Right.
Light and sound and movement and projection. And then there's this guy in the corner who's like, don't pay attention to anything that I'm doing. Just look at this other thing. So it's a complicated history. I think it's okay to not ignore that while also saying that it is a magnificent film.
Absolutely. And what it personally means to you.
Right.
And what you personally get out of it.
And like you said, so many people connect to this movie when they're a child.
Yeah.
You know, if you're 4 and you watch The Wizard of Oz in 1985, you have no connection to what happened
Well,
on set.
right.
Margaret Hamilton being burned and then them not even driving her to the hospital.
I mean, when did all of this history start to resurface or start to surface? I shouldn't say resurface, really come to light. When did that happen?
That's a good question. I don't know, but what I do know is that I watched I believe it was made for TV, little documentary that WB made, hosted by Angela Lansbury.
I watched
Did you watch
that
one?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and the whole time I was like, this is such propaganda. Like, because everything that they mention some of the bad stuff that happens, but they really kind of don't dwell on it. And then they don't mention like the really bad stuff that was happening with Judy. And so it's almost like the company's coming out to be like, yeah, it was really wild, but
let's not focus on it. That's not
Yeah.
the main.
Yeah.
That's not what you should, hone in on when it comes to this movie.
But even back when this came out, one of the things that a lot of people were talking about was this idea that the actors playing the Munchkins were outrageous party animals and doing crazy things. And I saw one of the historians say, like, that kind of wasn't true. It's just that everyone found them to be odd. Like, it was odd to have 124 little people from around the country all come to this one place, and anyone back in 1938 1939 who saw this would be like, this is, you never would have seen anything like that in your life.
Right.
But listening to the actors who portrayed the Munchkins, they were having like the time of their life, and some of them, it was the first time that they were around little people ever.
I know and it's
like,
still
that's awesome.
been the only film production to have this amount of little people in a like that's pretty wild.
Maybe Tiptoes.
Oh boy.
But no, even Tiptoes wasn't this grand in scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember the first rumor or urban legend, if you will, that I heard was it one of the Munchkins that hung themselves?
Yeah, it's one of the Munchkins or a stagehand.
Yes, or a stage. Right. It kept changing.
Right. Yeah.
That is like my earliest memory of an urban legend tied to this film.
Absolutely. And then the other one was that Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album,
of course, yes,
synced up to this movie, but you had to start it at the exact right place. And it's like when Dorothy steps on a fence or something. And I remember being a young teen, maybe like 12 or 13. Like, we tried it and it was like, this is so stupid. But isn't that funny? Like, how ingrained in our lives it is that, like, if people sat down and thought about it, you'd probably think, okay, I heard about Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard about a Munchkin hanging themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So one of the things that helps The Wizard of Oz kind of become everywhere like that, right, is in addition to wanting to make this big Technicolor masterpiece like Snow White, they also licensed the movie for merchandising, which at the time, like, every movie didn't do that, right? And so now you have Wizard of Oz merchandise that's everywhere. Then the movie doesn't do that well, very famously. So they license it to CBS to be shown on TV for and I tried to confirm this in multiple places, so take this with a grain of salt, but $250,000 per showing.
Wow.
So CBS, in turn, treats it like an event. And if I've listened, dude, I can't even tell you how many reviews I've listened to, fan blog, like just I've taken in so many people talking about this movie, and every person who talks about watching it on TV as children describe it. They all say it was like an event.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the reason they feel that way is because CBS was like, we just spent a ton of money. We're going to play it once a year or once every few years, whatever. And it's going to be an event. And so it worked. Like, it actually worked.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to Judy Garland as Dorothy. We already talked about her a little bit. You believe her. You believe her in this role
Right off the bat.
right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. What about you? I feel you're kind of like bobbing your head side to side. You feel the dialogue was really written for a child. Okay. But how do you feel about Dorothy upon meeting her?
Dorothy has the bad luck of having the worst day of her life when everyone else around her is busy.
Yes.
And so she seems very annoying at first.
Mm-hmm.
The incubator's gone down. They got to save all these chicks, or the chicks are all going to die. All the farm hands are busy doing their stuff. But she has a legitimate concern. Like, Miss Gulch is going to kill her dog. Like, Miss Gulch is going to murder her dog.
Terrible.
Yeah. Later on, Dorothy tells the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, like right after the Tin Man says that he'll join them, she's like, you guys are the best friends that anyone could ever have. And I'm like, Dorothy, I don't think you have any friends.
She doesn't have any friends.
She doesn't have any friends.
Toto is her friend.
Toto is her friend. And so she's having the worst day of her life, and no one cares, and no one can do anything about it. So I think that when we first meet her, she comes off as an annoying kid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then she goes to run away, and then she decides against it, and she goes to go home. And I guess I had never really thought about it like that like Dorothy was on her way home before she gets sucked up into Oz.
Yeah.
Like, she already learned her lesson.
Go
ahead.
No, I'm getting pent up because
Okay.
I have a smear campaign to go on, and I can't wait to do it. So that's right, though. She already learned the lesson.
Yeah.
From Professor Marvel, who I was like, if I could dress up as anyone, I think I want to be him.
Okay.
For my party to come.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yes, she already learns her lesson.
Mm-hmm. She sees, or she thinks she sees Aunt Em in anguish, and she realizes, oh, she took care of me when I was sick and all these different things, right? And so her big arc is actually 2. She goes through the same arc twice. So here's one of the other big pillars, I think, of what this movie is telling us. Obviously, everybody knows, like, there's no place like home, right? Okay. Everyone in her dream or her visit to Oz, however you interpret it, right?
It's a dream.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty clearly a dream, right? Has a counterpart. Professor Marvel has a counterpart. Hunk has a counterpart. I don't know. Miss Gulch has a counter, right? There's only 2 people who don't have a counterpart in Oz, and that is Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. And that's because Aunt Em and Uncle Henry are her family.
Mm-hmm.
They are her home. And her final realization is there is no place like home. So in Oz, there are people like Miss Gulch, and there's people like Professor Marvel, and there's people like Hunk, and there's people like, but there isn't anyone like Toto, Dorothy, Em, and Henry. That, like, when I realized that, it totally blew me away. And I saw the movie so differently, because why wouldn't there be a counterpart to Em and Henry in Oz? All of the other actors are pulling double duty. And not only that, but when she has that, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there, in that part of the scene, Aunt Em and Uncle Henry are not there.
Right. They're her heart.
Yes.
And home is where the heart is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so even in her wildest fantasy, she can't replicate home.
Right.
In your wildest dream, it has to be something else.
Yep.
And so another reason why this is kind of a great American story is that these are not her parents.
Yeah.
This is her aunt and uncle. Something has happened to Dorothy's parents. Are these even her biological aunt and uncle? We have no idea. We don't
Right.
know. But
Right.
this is a found family, people pulling together and caring about each other, which is very part of, the American culture. I think that Dorothy's great. I think Judy Garland does a great job. I mean, when she sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes, when she sings, I start to cry.
Really?
I start to cry. I'm like, this song makes me so emotional because there's so much hope behind it, but there's so much sadness behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she delivers it, and I just can't believe that it makes me emotional.
It Somewhere Over the Rainbow is also the American story.
Yeah. Right.
And not only that, but it's the creative person story. That
Yeah.
somewhere there is somewhere else, there is a place. And I think it resonates with everyone because everyone feels that way. Like there's somewhere where my dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where that it is, but somewhere someone has to be having a better time than me.
Right. And that's the sadness of it.
Is this the most iconic movie, music, singing moment?
It's definitely one of them. It's definitely top tier. I would not be the judge of that. You have seen way more movies than I have. So,
Well, sure, but I mean, like, we all know Somewhere Over the Rainbow,
yeah, I would say so. I'm like trying to think of others.
I tried really hard. I kept thinking about it. I was talking with my wife, and she said the only one that maybe would be more or is at least on the same level is Singing in the Rain.
Mm,
Specifically, the scene where Gene Kelly is singing
sure.
in the rain.
Sure.
Because that's also referenced in Sun and
Mm-hmm.
is also incredibly iconic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For our generation, I would propose Part of That World, Part of Their World from Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So different though. I see what you're saying, but
So different, but
so different.
the same, again, like Wizard of Oz and everything, the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be where she is and she wants to be somewhere
She wants
else.
to be where the people are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A recent example of this, I think, is Chapel Rowan's Pink Pony Club,
Yeah, you
right?
did text me about that
Yeah,
last
which is
week.
a story about a girl who lives in Tennessee, and she knows that there's this club, right? Pink Pony Club, and it also has to do with bright colors and expressing yourself and having this person back at home who's like just distraught that you have decided to leave and decided to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something interesting about this country where people come here from all over the world. Remember when we did our episode on past lives?
Of course.
Yeah, there's that great line that her friend says to her. He says, "You are the type of person who leaves."
Mm-hmm.
And when we think about people who come to this country, everyone, whether you came from India or Japan or South America, you are the type of person who looks and says, there has to be somewhere better than where I am. And I'm going to like take the actions to go there. So we are a nation of people who believe that you can go somewhere and make things better. And that's why like this movie is us. Like this movie, like it's the
Yeah.
whole it's the whole thing. And then you go on that journey, you make your riches, or you do your artistic endeavor, or you do whatever it is that you wanted to do. You express yourself, you find your friends, you blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of all things, you realize, oh, actually, what really mattered was home and the people who were there. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the ending of Citizen Kane, right? Like the very end of, not to spoil Citizen Kane, I won't say specifics, but that's this dude who has done everything you could possibly do in life finds himself longing for his childhood.
I mean, isn't that what they say? Like you're on your deathbed. What are you thinking about? You just want to be surrounded by your
Exactly.
loved ones. Your money doesn't
Exactly.
matter. The materialistic possessions don't matter. You just want to be loved and surrounded by your loved ones because
Mm-hmm.
that's what matters.
Yep. And Dorothy gets to experience that because she almost dies, and she wakes up, like Dorothy wakes up on her deathbed, surrounded by the people she loves.
Yep.
And her declaration after going on this journey is, there's no place like home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would think if you sent like an astronaut to like the far reaches of the galaxy and they saw everything there was to find and they came back and gave a speech, you would hope that they would like dispense some wisdom. And if all they came up with was like, I just kind of wanted to, you know, be home.
I mean, doesn't that just go back to one of our human basic needs is to be loved?
Mm-hmm.
It's like as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. And to be heard and understood. Everyone hears
Yes.
Dorothy in Oz. Everyone listens
Yes.
to her. She has a rapt audience. But again, at the beginning of this movie, she's the annoying kid.
Right.
No one cares. No one has
But also
anything to do with her.
But also in Oz, she created it because it's her dream.
Right. This is also very similar to another movie that we've covered. By the way, this means we have to cover Citizen Kane sometime.
Oh, gosh. I know.
But the other great American movie, It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on a different type of journey, but still fantastical place, realization, and what he realizes, I want to live again. But he may as well be saying, there's no place like home. Just I just want to go home.
Right.
No matter. And what's interesting is in this movie, right? Dorothy runs away because Miss Gulch has a signed note from the sheriff to destroy the dog. That is the wording that's used.
And Aunt M's like, we can't go against the law.
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
Miss Gulch says, I'll sue you and take your whole farm.
Wow.
And not to be callous, but quite frankly, like for Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, they're farmers. Animals
Oh, yeah.
come and go. Anyway, when Dorothy returns, that's still in effect. George Bailey is still going to lose his house and everything, like the bank and all of that stuff when he goes home, but it doesn't matter. Like they all realize like that none of this stuff matters. And I'm sure Dorothy in that moment isn't thinking like, I'm going to go home and they're going to kill Toto, but okay, whatever. But still.
In all of the content you consumed, was there anything that talked about pages that were taken out where it was maybe discussed where Toto was going to go live with Hickory instead?
Oh, interesting.
And that kind of solved the problem
Right.
of Gulch taking him.
Right. That would close the loop. I think they should have just woken her up and said,
something.
Dorothy, don't worry. Miss Gulch's house was just destroyed in that tornado and she's dead. And that would fit with water being the thing that destroys the witch, right? If the storm took away Miss Gulch, boom, 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 close all the loops.
That's true.
MGM should have hired us. Come on.
Oh, my goodness.
I could write this thing in like one day. Come on. Okay. Toto, Terry the dog.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about Toto?
I love Toto. You know me. I'm an animal person. I love seeing any animal actor. Toto actually has a biography written by his owner called I, Toto.
Very cool.
Which I want to order. I would like to read that. He's a sweet counterpart. Also, like a very memorable character, just like all of them. But like every Karen Terrier is like, oh, it's named Toto.
Right. Typecast.
Exactly.
Toto cast. I want to say something, and I feel like the most annoying movie person saying this, but I mean this in such a complimentary way. I love Toto in this movie because this is such good, subtle dog acting or just animal acting.
Yeah.
Like Toto is not like, look at me. I'm the dog in the movie. It's just hanging out during Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Tell me how animal acting could not have killed that scene. And Toto just chills out on the seat, offers up the paw, put their heads together.
Oh my God, I love it.
Perfect. It's perfect.
And anytime they're going down the yellow brick road, Toto's kind of keeping a distance. There's a lot going on. These humans in costumes, but I'm also skipping by. I'm skipping along with you. It's very good.
But it's like you could have precocious Toto.
Yeah.
You could have annoying Toto, right? And I mean, Toto jumps out of the bed, okay,
Oh, yeah.
the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think it's a great dog performance. And I am gobsmacked that on a production that had as many problems as this one did, that they only had one Toto.
I know.
Because every movie with animals, there's like, here are the 5 dogs who played Lassie. And it's like, what the heck?
I know.
This one, they were like, people are getting caught on fire. Things are falling apart. Just one Toto. Fine. That's fine. Nothing will happen to the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, one thing did happen to the dog. Though.
I know.
It got stepped on.
Right? Sprained
Yeah.
her paw.
Yeah.
I read, let's just sum up the animal actors, because a second time appearance on Movie Friends podcast is Jimmy the Raven.
Yes. Who was in It's a Wonderful Life.
In one of the documentaries that I watched, they talked about Jimmy the Raven, and then I couldn't find this again to back this story up. So I'm curious if you heard this, but on one of the days of filming, in the deleted scene of the Scarecrow, the extended singing scene of the Scarecrow, Jimmy the Raven got out of his tethered rope, I guess, and flew all the way up and wouldn't come down, and they had to stop filming. So that caused some production delays, which just makes me laugh. But then I couldn't find that story again.
Interesting.
So
okay.
that might be my favorite little new tidbit that I learned. But Jimmy the Raven, I'm a big fan.
We love Jimmy the Raven. And what was Jimmy the Raven paid? $100 a week or something?
Something like that. Yes.
It's just a crazy amount of money for a bird actor.
I think Terry, who played Toto and then eventually became Toto, was paid $125.
Yeah.
A week. Their handler. There's also a toucan in this movie chilling in the tree, which I thought was very interesting.
I saw the toucan. Yep.
Yeah. The horses, of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
The horse of a different color.
Mm-hmm.
That gag doesn't get old fast. Genuinely, I think that they were like, oh no, Munchkinland was so awesome. We got to make Oz great. They're like, what are we going to do in Oz? Every time we cut, the horse will be a different color. And
it's so true, because Munchkinland is just so whimsical and colorful, and there's depth to it. And then you get to the Emerald City, and it's just like, it falls flat for me.
Big green walls. Everyone's costume is just them, but with Oz on their chest.
Right. And green.
Which I was like, that's ridiculous. And I thought, well, I guess when you go to New York City, people are wearing New York shirts. Right. So that's not that crazy, I guess.
Yeah, it's just the Emerald City compared to Munchkinland.
It doesn't compare.
No, it doesn't compare.
Okay, Glinda. When I was a kid, I thought that Glinda was really nice.
Same, Seth. Same.
And now as an adult, I'm like, Glinda, you are kind of a jerk. You're kind of an instigator. I laugh at this every time now. So she comes up to Dorothy and she's like, hey, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And Dorothy's like, well, I'm not a witch. Witches are old and ugly. And she's like, oh, well, I'm a witch. And she's like, but you're beautiful. And she says, yes, only bad witches are ugly. And I stop and I think to myself, Glinda, if you know that, why are you asking Dorothy if she's good or bad? Are you implying that Dorothy is ugly?
I think I could spend the rest of this episode ranting about Glinda. And
is this your smear campaign?
This is my smear campaign. And
smear away.
And I
Take
have
it.
never felt this way before when watching this movie. Again, like you, I thought she was the good witch, because it is Glinda, the good witch of the North, right? She shows up. I want to if you will humor me, can we just go through her mannerisms?
Please.
Right? Okay. Dorothy enters Oz, which is done so well. We didn't even talk about the twister. Should we talk about that first? This is what I'm saying. It's very overwhelming how to cover this movie.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Dorothy's house lands on the Wicked Witch of the East. The Munchkins summon Glinda because they're like, we're confused.
Right.
Is Dorothy a good witch or a bad witch? Okay, we go through that.
Right.
Then the Wicked Witch of the West shows up and asks who killed her sister. And Dorothy says it's an accident. And while this is going on, Glinda is behind Dorothy, smirking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Smirking.
Yep.
And Dorothy says it's an accident. And the witch says, I can cause accidents too. And then Glinda, she says, what about the ruby slippers?
Mm-hmm.
And so then the witch goes over and she sees her sister. She's like, right, the slippers. And her sister's feet disappear. And then
Which, if I can cut in there,
Please do.
That's the part that freaked me out as a kid.
Oh, man.
That image of her feet rolling up as if they were empty and then sliding under the house really freaked me out as a kid.
Did that have you like have to have your feet covered at all times under the blankets?
It's possible.
Because that's how I felt. I felt like
it.
witches would steal my feet.
Yeah.
And actually, not to interrupt myself and you, Jason Segel, the actor, also had the same fear because I told him I had that fear. And he said, me too. Anyway.
Wait a minute. Wait, why did you tell Jason Segel you thought witches would steal your feet?
He wrote a children's story. What did he know? He wrote a children's book about maybe scary stories or something. And I went to go meet him and I told him how I had that fear. And he said, oh, me too. He was probably just like agreeing with me. Anyway, back to Glinda.
Wow, I'm learning so much this episode.
Okay, so Glinda's like smirking behind Dorothy when all this is happening and tells the witch, like, hey, the ruby slippers, the feet go under the house. And then the slippers appear on Dorothy's feet.
Mm-hmm.
And Glinda says, it's too late now. They're on here now. And the witch is like, just give me the slippers. Like, I know what power they possess. If I was Dorothy, I'd be like, take them. Take them.
Right.
Hey, man, I don't want any trouble. Like,
right.
Please. And Glinda's like, no, you better hold on to them tight. The magic must be so powerful. That's why she wants them. Glinda.
Yes. Instigator.
And then she tells the witch, the wicked witch, be gone. You have no power here.
Yeah. That part I do laugh at because I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny.
And then she says to Dorothy, when the witch leaves and like, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Like, you better watch out. Glinda says to Dorothy, I'm afraid you made a bad enemy in the Wicked Witch. The sooner you get out of Oz, the better this will be. And then she asked her, did you bring your broom? Are you kidding me? Dorothy's like, you could. And then she tells Dorothy, oh, you can head to Oz, but it's a long way from here.
Right.
Just follow the yellow brick road. And I'm like, Glinda, you couldn't transport her there? I can't. I am so...
No, I agree. 100%.
So mad at Glinda.
She's the worst.
She's the worst.
I don't mean to say that like she's evil necessarily, but she's just so unhelpful. And she's the one who puts the ruby slippers on Dorothy's feet. I mean, am I not to believe that?
She does. She does. And then I just keep telling myself, because I've gotten so heated about this. I'm like, 1, it's a dream. 2, Dorothy had to learn the lesson, because when we get to the end, Glinda's like, oh, this whole time you could have just went home.
Well, that is very annoying of Glinda, because she's like, all you have to do is click your heels together and think there's no place like home. It's like, but you didn't tell me that. You literally told me to come here. I did what you told me to do.
Well, then
I didn't say, is there a wizard around who can help me?
Exactly.
I think she says to her, how can I get home? You know what I mean? And she's like, you go to the wizard. He'll help you.
She does. And that's when she says, oh, just follow the yellow brick road. Oh, you didn't bring your broom, sweetie? It's going to be a long trek.
So it's like, Glinda, you started us off on this whole thing. And then you could have stopped it. What was this all for? Was Glinda just like sitting around watching? Like, this is funny?
That's what it feels like.
Was this her way of killing the witch? You know what I mean? Like,
well, right. Because then you're just sending Dorothy to do your dirty work. Because, fast forward, the powerful Oz is like, get me the broom of the Wicked Witch.
Which is a death sentence. I think, well, we'll talk about him, but yeah.
The ruby slippers. It's unclear why the Wicked Witch wants them. They're powerful. Is it because they belong to her sister? Is it because they're just like a teleportation device?
Well, yeah, I mean, it transports you to the real world, apparently.
But like, that's not that clear. And it's like, Glinda, obviously you knew the power of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
or are you just being a jerk? I think you're just being a jerk.
Well, you know what? Okay, this might be a good time to bring up what I think is a very funny thing about this movie,
Yeah.
being one of the great movies and one of the movies that everyone looks to. This is a kids movie. This is a movie for children
Yeah.
that was not well thought through at all.
Right.
I think that The Wizard of Oz might be the best case of studio meddling / studio led art of all time.
Mm.
Because
Mhm.
it's not like all these people were like, we really want to adapt The Wizard of Oz. Can we please do it? The studio said, we're doing this movie. You do this, you do this, you do that.
Did your kids watch this with you on one of your many watches?
Well, they watched it a few times and then they were like, we're not watching this movie anymore.
What do they think?
Yeah, they think it's great.
But should we talk about the Munchkinland, because
Of course.
I
That's next on
love.
my notes.
Okay, good.
I think that this movie like is the storm, the transition to color, Munchkinland, and then Dorothy leaving. Like that is all
Yeah.
tens across the board.
Yes. Agreed.
Everything after that is of varying quality and interest, but like you are riding high. Dorothy and Toto like skipping down the Yellow Brick Road from the back, and you
Oh
see all
my.
the Munchkins, and they're
Oh,
all singing. I was like, this is insane.
it's magic. When she opens the door
Mm-hmm.
to Munchkinland, I got the same feeling when we enter Willy Wonka's factory.
Absolutely. I think another movie that takes a lot from this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful. It's so magical. It's so whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
When the Munchkins, before we meet them, are in the bushes, and then you see them pop up, and they were the bushes, and their heads
Mm-hmm.
had the flowers on them. I was just like, I got chills. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's great.
There's so much detail in
Yes.
every costume, like you already mentioned. The mayor, you don't notice right away that his shoes just have like whole plants growing out of
The
them.
shoes. Do I want a pair so bad?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's outrageous.
It's amazing.
My favorite person in Munchkinland
Mm-hmm.
is the coroner.
Mm-hmm.
My first time watching this for this show, I paused it and I was like, I have to learn everything there is to know about the coroner.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, there's a lot to know. And also, come to find out, I'm not the first person to be like, what is going on with this guy? So this guy was his name is Meinhard Rab
Uh-huh.
or Robbie, and he took a leave of absence from his job working for the Oscar Mayer Company. He played Little Oscar, and he would go to promotional events dressed like a chef, and he drove the Wienermobile, and like that was his gig. Like that's what he did, and I think he had done like radio stuff like that before. And then he plays the coroner, and it's just my favorite because it's so odd to be like hello children, let's talk about like death and murder a lot.
Well, right. And especially if we sing about it, it sounds very lighthearted. But if you read the lyrics, like, we have to definitely make sure
Oh
this
yeah.
person is dead and
Well,
legally make it binding.
that's my other favorite guy is the interrupting guy.
Oh, yes.
Like the mayor comes out and he's like, hello everybody, look at this is wonderful. And then the other guy's like, hold on. but we have to verify it legally. It's insane. He's so good. And then after they confirm it, the mayor goes back into happy mode and he's like, this will be a day of remembrance for all Munchkins everywhere and their descendants. And the interrupter guy cuts in and he's like, if any. It's like, okay, yeah, we're covering all of our bases, guy. Calm down. Like, so it's like, get this guy out of here. Who is this guy? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you like the Lollipop Guild?
I do, but I love the Lullaby League.
That was going to be my follow-up question, is between the Lullaby League and the Lollipop Guild.
I think I like the Lullaby League. They're so sweet.
Yeah. The Lullaby League, that seems genuine. And then it's almost like the Lollipop Guild is like, oh, well, we can't be shown up by the Lullaby League. We got to go over there. We got to welcome her to Munchkinland too. And so like the Lullaby League, they come in with a whole coordinated dance. They do all this. There's like, am I imagining petals and stuff?
They're
They hand her a bouquet,
yeah.
right? So they do a whole thing. And then the Lollipop Guild just kind of comes up and they're like
three curmudgeons. They're like,
yeah, they're like
awaken
kicking,
us.
like they don't really have anything to follow up. But like, just, come on, we got to do something.
My favorite is when after they hand her the lollipop, hand Dorothy the lollipop, you know, they like put their hands in the air. Like they're excited. What would you say if we describe this for
It's a
listeners, what I'm
cheer.
doing right
Michelle is doing the thing where you clasp your hands together and you shake it near one ear, then you shake it near another. I've never understood why people do this.
Yeah, but they like walk backwards doing this. Like, yeah, we did a good job. We upstaged the Lullaby League.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
The name of the Lollipop Guild has not been soiled today.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, it's amazing. It's such a good number.
It's so good.
You're Off to See the Wizard, I think, is number 2 in this movie for, Somewhere Over the Rainbow and then Off to See the Wizard, especially when the Munchkins are singing it this time around. Like, yes, it's very high and it's very intense, but it's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful piece of music and it really excites you like for what is going to happen next.
It's great.
All right, so Dorothy goes along. She meets 3 people. Starting off with the Scarecrow. How'd you feel about him?
I love all 3 of them. I love the Scarecrow. I love the Tin Man. I love the Cowardly Lion. Watching Ray Bulger dance is wonderful. His physicality and agility with his body, it's just, you can't take your eyes off of him. But as an adult, and I don't want to be cynical, and I think this is the point too, is like, oh, these 3, I don't want to say men, creatures, what are we calling them?
I don't know.
They had what they needed inside them the whole time.
Yep.
I mean, and starting from right the bat, right? So the Scarecrow's like, I need a brain. And he's hanging up and on his pole. And he's like, I don't know much about much, but I think if you turn the screw, that'll let me down. It's like,
right.
You have a brain.
Right.
And he has one of my favorite lines that say, like, some people without brains do a lot of talking, don't they? So I love that. I
related to that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him?
He's close to my favorite of the 3. His makeup this time around blew me away.
Oh, man.
Like, I never really realized that his face is a bag.
Yeah, it's like the burlap.
Yeah, but then it's like, of course, yeah, if you were making a Scarecrow, you'd put a bag and then tie it. Because I was always like, why does he have like a noose? Like, that's pretty.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, his makeup, it's like flawless, I think. I think he's probably the best looking makeup of any of them. And then, yeah, I mean, basically, again, this is for children. So we have to like think about it like that. But all of them have what they need. And when Dorothy comes to the end, she's told you also had everything that you needed. But hers is like different. Because
no, it's very different. The 3 for me represent imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
And especially the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah. This movie is all about how you perceive things and how people present themselves.
Yep.
How do you perceive yourself? And then how do you perceive how people present themselves?
Right.
To Ray Bulger's credit, he keeps up that physicality. There's times where he's like slipping or times where his legs kind of go out or it's good. It's very, very good.
It's very good.
Yeah. The Tin Man, he doesn't have a heart. Jack Haley said in that documentary that they made for WB, he says, "People say it must have been a lot of fun to make The Wizard of Oz. Like hell it was fun. It was not fun at all. It was a lot of hard work."
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
When they first meet and he says, "Bang on my chest," right? And the Scarecrow bangs on the Tin Man's chest, and they pause and they listen. And the Scarecrow says, "What a beautiful echo."
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like, oh, we forget to see what we already have and what people, how, again, going back to how people perceive you.
Yep. And he says that in response to being told that he's perfect. He says,
Yep.
"If you think I'm perfect, bang on my chest."
Right.
The Scarecrow, what he says that he's a failure because he doesn't have a brain. Tin Man says he's not perfect because he doesn't have a heart. Yeah, absolutely. It's all very clear. It's all very out there to see,
Yeah.
you know?
But again, like before we meet the Tin Man, we meet the angry apple trees, which I love.
Yeah.
And the Scarecrow's like, "I have an idea. This is how we'll get the apples."
Yep.
And then at one point, the Tin Man cries. I'm like, if you didn't have a heart, you wouldn't be crying and feeling emotional.
Right. I think all of this is best seen in The Cowardly Lion.
Yes.
Who, upon meeting him, is being very courageous. He runs him down. He's telling him he's going to fight him. He's like threatening him. And it's like, yo, if you were actually that cowardly, wouldn't you just like hide behind a tree while they walked by? Like, what is this? Like,
well, right. He truly doesn't feel he's scary.
yeah.
And yet, if you look like you look scary, if you you're a lion, you act like a lion, you're scary. But because inside you don't feel it, it means nothing. And so when Dorothy slaps him, he's like, "Why did you do that?" You know? He's all bark, no bite.
Right. I kind of don't love the lion in this.
He's my, like, if we were going to rank the three, he's my third. Even I love them all, but he's my third.
Tin Man is my number one.
Yes, I love the Tin Man too, especially when the Tin Man dances and his feet are stationary.
Leans.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well, watching these last few times, I was like, how uncomfortable that Tin Man suit must have been. I mean, everyone looks uncomfortable. Like, I'm sure none of it was nice. But just that, and look, the last few times I've come to your costume party, I wear like some kind of like large apparatus or whatever. It's uncomfortable. And he's just wearing a metal tube.
I know.
Like up to his neck, you know, like, oh God, it must have been horrible. But one of the reasons I don't like the lion as much is because once the lion is introduced, he just takes up all of the screen.
Yeah.
Like every conversation, he's dominating it. He gets a second musical number and no one else does.
Yep.
And it's like, you know what, lion? Let's let the Tin Man have a little bit of a. So the Scarecrow you get more of because he's there longer. They're longer than everyone else. And then the lion is bigger than everyone else. And so the Tin Man just gets pushed to the side. It sucks.
I know. I love the Tin Man's oil can. I did text you about that. I've always wanted the oil can.
Oh, yeah.
Things I want from movies, and I love the sound it makes.
Yep.
When they have to oil them up. So good.
Yeah, the lion.
And the fact that he wore, it was like actual lion fur and skin, and it weighed so much. That is such a choice. And I don't know if that was common to do that back then. Like, not common of like, oh, you're going to act as an animal, so we're going to dress you in the skin of the animal. We couldn't do anything synthetic. But I do appreciate that the tail was always moving.
Yes, that was very cool. Yes, I do like that. And I mean, look, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about the Wizard of Oz, they'll say, like, what else is there to say? Or what can you really say? You know, I think there's a lot to say. But all three of these are iconic. Like, this is the definition of iconic.
Yeah.
Character, costume design.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's talk about the wizard.
Are we going to talk about like him as the gatekeeper, the palace guard?
Well, yes. All 5 roles played by Frank Morgan. So he starts off as Professor Marvel.
Yep.
at first I'm like, this is so scary, and this is how people get kidnapped and murdered. But thankfully, Professor Marvel's a nice guy. And he's just like, yeah, your dog can eat my hot dog. Whatever.
I mean, he's full of it, right? Because he can't really like
Yeah, no, he's
read your
definitely full of
palms
it.
or anything.
But he is nice in that he's like, Dorothy, you should go home. Like, don't.
Yes, he's not taking
You,
advantage of her in
yeah,
that way.
you're not going to run away with me to Europe. Go home.
Right. Right.
Then he plays the person at the door to Oz. Now, I am of the mind that the person at the gate, the cab driver, the guard outside of Oz's place, and the wizard are all the same person.
Yes, me too.
Not the same actor, but that is him, and he's
Yeah.
trying to stop her every step of the way from getting any further.
Yeah.
And each time they present him with another piece of information as to why they should be allowed to go further, he's like, okay, and then runs away and does a costume change. And then I don't know that like that's, canon, or if that's like the widely accepted belief.
Right. Or is it just because this is a dream and in our dreams we make up things and people can play different roles? That would be like the lame explanation, but it would also
Right.
be an explanation. But I agree with what you're saying. When we meet the gatekeeper and he's like, "Didn't you read the sign?" And then he puts
Right.
out the sign, "Fell out of order, please knock." That cracked me up.
Yes.
I thought that was great. That was so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I think that he's funny. I like everything that he's doing. I don't like that, again, he's trying to stop them. And then finally, he's like crying because he's overhearing them. He's like, okay, fine, you can come
so
in.
wet from crying.
Insanely wet.
Did they just like maybe he was sweating and they're like because the lights were so hot because of the
Right.
Technicolor?
He looks like the
So
Pringles guy,
I know.
but just like dripping wet.
Yeah. Soggy
So
Pringle.
so then he's like, okay, fine, you can go in. And like I think a little bit of evidence that this is the same guy is when all of the Ozians are like, oh, let's go ask the wizard. The witch is right in the sky. He comes out as the guard and he's like, oh, the wizard has everything under control. I hope.
Mhm.
And it's like, if you were an actual guard of Oz, you wouldn't have that doubt. These people think that he's like God,
Right. Right.
I don't like, though, when they go in and he's again trying to stop them because he really can't help them. And he's like, all right, yeah, bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch. Because to me, he is literally sending them on a suicide mission, or they're just going to say, well, that's impossible, so we give up.
Right. Either way. I won't have to deal with you.
Right. So then when they come back and he's like, I'm still not going to help you. Come back tomorrow. And then we get Toto pulling the curtain back and she says, oh, you're a bad man. This is like the most evil thing I've ever heard someone say. He says, no, I'm a good man. I'm just a very bad wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, you're not a good man. You're actually a horrible man who has a hot air balloon that you've known about this whole time. And Dorothy wants to go to Kansas and you can go there.
Mm-hmm.
This is gaslighting.
Mm-hmm. Is he the one that says, I feel like I'm that person that you talked about in the beginning of the podcast of those podcasters who can't remember who said what? I apologize. I think it's him. I can't go back. I don't know how it works. It was the wizard who said that actually, but that was it's just like, oh, you're so full of it. You're so full of it.
Yeah. But hey, confidence.
I can't go back. I don't know. Confidence.
Confidence, man.
Oh my goodness.
Look, for any of you confident people out there, you have been the man behind the curtain. And for any of you who think that you lack confidence, just think about this schmuck who has convinced like an entire country that he's a wizard just by being like, oh, I'm a wizard.
When he gives out the gifts, it just reminded me of Space Jam when Bugs gives out the water.
Mike's secret stuff.
That's what essentially this is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it is, like you said, imposter syndrome. And it's just selling people on like this idea of belief, but it's kind of just a belief in nothing. but telling people like, okay, now you have this thing, so now here you are. But I did think it was funny, and not to put down college degrees, going to college or anything like that. You do get an education, but the idea
Oh, yeah.
that like a piece of paper presented to someone means that you are something, come on now. We know it's representative, but it's very silly.
It is very silly.
But it makes them feel better, and sometimes that's all people need.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing what a pep talk can do for some people sometimes.
I mean, I think we're living proof where we love reviews.
That's true. Hey, if you haven't
If you
left us a
haven't,
review yet, we would love it.
by the way.
Yeah, we get a review and we're like, oh my God, people do like us.
Yeah, it's not like we're just talking into the abyss.
I saved best for last. The Wicked Witch of the West. WWW, as Margaret Hamilton would sign her name for the rest of her life.
Love.
First off, Miss Gulch. She owns half the county. Okay. A dog is coming into your garden, chasing your cat, and biting you. What are you going to do?
Well, that's a fresh pup.
Okay.
Very fresh.
Yep.
You know, it's hard for me to answer this because I just be like, please don't.
I'm getting that dog destroyed. I'm going to the sheriff, and I'm getting an order.
Growing up, our Dalmatian would escape on occasion and would run near our neighbor's house, and our neighbor would threaten that they were going to shoot our dog.
Oh my God.
And then later on, he got like, the man became sick and then became really nice and got a dog and then became a pet lover. So,
Oh.
and then my mom became friends with him, but I'll never forget that. And I always thought of Mrs. Gulch, or Miss Gulch, I should say.
Right, Miss
And I was
Gulch.
like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we have one of those.
One time our dog got out and was running around the neighborhood, and we were running around after it. And the cops showed up and shot at our dog.
No. Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Was this Texas?
Yep. Our dog Texas. And there were neighbors out, if there were people, and everyone just yelled at the cop. And they're like, what is wrong? Like, there were people around, there were children around, just fired one off right into the ground in front of the dog.
Wow.
So people don't like, misbehaving dogs. Gotta tell you.
Right.
So Miss Gulch, I'm not saying I like her. I'm not saying I agree with her. But she's had enough.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you already know this, but this blew my mind maybe more than anything else. And that is that Margaret Hamilton was 36 years old when she made this movie.
Mm-hmm. She's younger than me.
The Wicked Witch of the West
Mm-hmm.
is younger than me. I cannot believe that. Like, I can't believe that.
I know. She's a
Oh,
single
well.
mom,
Yep.
making it work, newly divorced, had a 3-year-old son.
Yep.
Yeah.
She got $1,000 a week,
Mm-hmm.
and she demanded at least 6 weeks' pay.
Amazing.
Good for her.
Good for her. Sticking up for herself.
At the time, I believe she could pay for a house with that money. So good for her.
Yeah.
And she deserves it because she got very badly burned.
She did. And then when she came back and they're like, okay,
Right.
we got to film the scene where your room is going to blow smoke and write Surrender Dorothy in the sky.
Right.
She's like, I'm not doing that since you're making me wear a flame retardant outfit. And so then her stunt double does it and gets burned.
Yep. Crazy.
Good for Margaret being like, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
If this is so safe, why do I have to wear this special protectant outfit?
But she's incredible, and she is one of the villains in film history that is barely on the screen.
Yep.
And yet steals the entire show and goes down in film history as one of the greatest. Margaret Hamilton is right there with Darth Vader,
Mm-hmm.
As one of the great villains and monsters and bad guys in movie history. It's incredible. It's such a great performance. The role was someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to not do a pretty witch, but an ugly witch. And that actress was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not making myself ugly, because they actually did put her and did
Yeah.
her makeup so she looked, quote unquote, uglier.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't want to be ugly for this, and I don't regret this.
Yep. Yeah. And then later on, she said, I don't regret not being in it.
Mhm.
It's like, you know what? I think you maybe do. Because now it's The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Do you have any other thoughts on the movie?
I do. And I don't mean to nitpick,
Oh,
but
go for it.
Dorothy gets taken by the flying monkeys, which the flying monkeys are terrifying, but also
Sure.
I love the whole look of them. And she's stuck up in the witch's castle. Toto lets the three her friends know, so they make their way. They put on the
Mhm.
disguises, which I also love. Okay, fine. When we're all together, and the wicked witch is she's about to end Dorothy. She threatens the scarecrow. Is like, she lights a match and I'm gonna burn you, right? And so to put the fire out, Dorothy splashes the tiniest amount
Yes.
of water.
Yeah.
And it onto the scarecrow, but a tiny amount of it on the witch's face gets her, and that's what melts her.
Yes.
And so again, watching this, I'm like, if water melts the witch, why is there just a bucket there?
Yeah.
But as I've learned in the books, Dorothy was trapped in her house for a while, or in the castle for longer. The water was in the kitchen. They just had to place the bucket of water in this for film purposes. Okay, I'm done now. But I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was such a small amount of water that actually melts her, and it's
Right.
and it's splashed onto the face.
It's a kid movie.
I know.
And I'm not even saying that to you. Like, it's like how I explain it to myself. Is like, yeah, it's kind of a crappy ending, but it's not the end. That's
Right.
the thing.
No,
Is that
it's
the
not the end.
last villain to overcome
Yes.
is the wizard and the lies. It's not just
Yes.
the witch. So it's like the midway point.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny. It's silly.
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't Glinda or the Munchkins just throw water on her? Like,
Well,
is this known? Is this not known? Yeah.
I think it was known in the books.
Yeah. All right. So this movie was made for about 2.7, 2.8 million. Box office, I don't feel comfortable giving a number as if it's a fact. This movie didn't make money, or if it did, it was like not really enough or not good enough or whatever. But that doesn't matter. And if any movie has ever proved that like the point of art is not making money, it's probably The Wizard of Oz. Because if you didn't know anything about the production and you didn't know anything other than that people love it and it's so beloved, you'd probably think, oh, of course this made a ton of money. Can you imagine audiences in 1939 like watching this? Like, it would be, you'd think there'd be lines around the block. Nope, not really. So, hey, if you worked on something and it didn't make any money, you are in the same company as The Wizard of Oz. It says a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm very curious about who the people are who didn't like this. 3.9 on Letterboxd, 92 on Metacritic. This is not in the Criterion Collection. This is in the National Film Registry. In 1989, this was part of the first 25 movies to be inducted. Ebert gave this 4 stars and included it on his list of great movies. And they made this from October 38 to March of 39.
Wow.
All right, let's get into our happies and crappies.
It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and crappies. It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and
So as I said, I watched this movie about 7 times, and undeniably, spiritually, physically, every single time. Yeah, every single time, my happy is the Munchkin Coroner. I might get a Munchkin Coroner tattoo, I gotta tell you. Just
You have to.
that
You have to.
hat holding up.
The death?
The thing
Oh my
that just
gosh.
says death.
Perfect.
I might have to do that. My crappy is everything behind the scenes and how hard it is to hold these two things at the same time.
I'm glad your crappy is the behind the scenes, because I also wrote that and I didn't know if that was a cop out.
No, I don't think it's a cop-out. I think there's very little to dislike about this movie.
Right. My happy are the Munchkins costumes.
Yeah.
Particularly some of the shoes with the flowers coming straight out. Like I want a pair of shoes like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Amazing.
So we asked some friends online what they thought. Nick at Bad Movies We Love
Hello.
says, I only slightly remember my obsession with it because I was maybe 3 years old at the time, but my family swears I would watch it every day. So it's probably the first movie I was aware of existing.
Wow.
That's a pretty good starting point. And then Nick shared this photo.
Oh my goodness. He's
Of it.
dressed as the Tin Man.
Isn't that great?
It's so cute.
Gay Hunsaker at
Hello?
Stockpiled Clay.
Hello.
That's a play on the name JJ Hunsaker from the movie The Sweet Smell of Success.
Oh.
They say, good movie. My little brother would rewatch it incessantly as a kid, but he didn't like the black and white parts, so we always had to skip to the apple throwing trees.
Oh, wow. We're skipping a lot.
Don't stop, stop!
Wow.
Paul Muad'Dib at Trig Raptor
Hello, friend.
says it's groundbreaking and undeniably fantastic, a feat of filmmaking, and I just don't really like it all that much. Shrug emoji.
Totally.
Please hold your booze.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly the greasy textures and wacky hairstyles. I might even prefer Kansas too.
That left me speechless.
I was going to say Michelle is speechless right now. You know what I love about movies? Is that in this whole wide world,
Wait.
someone out there can watch The Wizard of Oz and say, I prefer the Kansas parts.
Doesn't our buddy, this is Paul?
Yeah.
Doesn't Paul love Dune?
Yeah?
So he loves sand.
That's why.
He loves sand.
Okay.
And dust.
Paul
I've never
like,
seen Dune. So
only desolate.
sepia tones,
Yeah.
dust, sand.
Felicia at Cinnamoroni
Hello.
says, my sister and I would watch our VHS copy of this all the time growing up, and she did a great impression of the lion, which was hilarious because our mother hated this movie. And in the parentheses, she said, she's wrong. Britt Chavez at Britt Chavez
Hi, Brett.
says, oh boy, wait until you see my daughter and dog's Halloween costume this week.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm fascinated by the behind the scenes of this movie. How did the whole cast not quit right on the spot? Asbestos snow is insane. What is your favorite behind the scene fact for this movie? I'll go first. For me, it's that the coroner was Lil Oscar. I just love that whole thing. Everything.
Yeah, and I guess I'll go with the fact that Adrian, the costume designer, created over 124 individual unique looks for each Munchkin.
Yeah, just everything with the, like, just, again, like the idea, hearing one of the actors be like, this was the first time I was around other little people and they
Yeah.
looked like me and
Yeah.
we had things to talk about. And like, that's great. Betsy Gorm at Gorm_Betsy.
Hi, Betsy.
She says, this is my favorite movie at 5 years old. Are you noticing a pattern?
Yes.
But my VHS copy broke somehow. I asked every year for a replacement for Christmas. I finally got a DVD my senior year of college. My level of excitement was captured for posterity. And this is a picture
Oh my
that
God,
she posted.
so cute. She's so excited. Why did no one get you the VHS? I'm going to go back in time so I can gift Betsy a VHS.
Finally, a ton of Boo Ricks
Cute.
at a ton of bricks says, I love this movie. I've seen the first 2/3 maybe 25 times and the last third maybe 10 times because its annual TV broadcast never ended before my bedtime and my parents wouldn't let me stay up.
Mm.
In general, they were good parents.
Ah!
But I won't forgive them for this.
How dare they? How dare they?
Listen to me, parents. I'm a parent. Listen to me. Let the kids stay up and watch the movie. Not every time, but when it's special, yes, so that they will remember it.
Yeah, when it's the event, right?
Yep. So there's some people that we do know. Now we go to a segment of the show where we hear from people that we don't know. It's called Half Star, 3-Star, 5-Star. These are reviews from letterboxd.com, which is a website and an app where you can log, rate, and review movies. We start with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a film. We go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a film. And on this show, I read the half-star review in a accent or impersonation of some type. Michelle, do you have any requests?
I don't have any ideas for you, Seth. So
Okay.
let's go over to the Wheel of Voices.
Wheel of Voices!
Hey, Vinny Barbarino.
Hey!
Will you read us our half-star review?
Hey, what's going on, Michelle? It's Vinny Barbarino, everyone's favorite side character from everyone's sitcom that they definitely remember. Welcome back, Cotter.
Hello.
Did anyone else grow up watching Welcome Back, Cotter on Nick at Night? Because I did.
I know you did. I know Krista did. And I know I did. So there's 3 people.
Vinny Barbarino was like John Travolta doing an impersonation of himself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Cotter.
It's like when you're messing with audio and you're messing with the echo and then you accidentally overlap the echo. So it just goes like off into eternity.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Half-star review for The Wizard of Oz. This is, you can only get this here on Movie Friends.
You're welcome.
Half-star review for The Wizard of Oz, read by Vinny Barbarino. This movie feels a bit traumatic because of its background. The things that happened while they were filming give it a strange vibe. The actors make the movie feel very dark. I'm not sure it's good for kids, you know? It's not fun or interesting. Reading the book is much nicer.
Oh. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Vinny Barbarino.
Yep. Thank you, Vinny. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, up your nose with a rubber hose. What does that mean, Vinny? I don't know.
He'll have to come back and tell us.
Oh, God. 3-star review says, rewatched as an adult. A technical masterpiece. Really one of the best looking films ever made. The story is fine, kind of thin, but it's for kids. So, hey, what can you do?
What can you do?
I've watched/read way too many Oz retellings and adaptations in my life at this point that it's kind of hard to really get me interested in this story, but I understand why it's so culturally significant to this day. So this person was like kind of fighting with themselves, I feel like.
They can't accept it.
Yeah. 5-star review says, the most perfect movie to ever exist. The transition from Dorothy's sepia-tuned house to the Technicolor land of Oz is as seismic of an event to me as landing on the moon or the fall of the Berlin Wall. What else to say but one of the definitive examples of cinematic wonder and excitement?
Wow.
I don't know about comparing it to those two things, but I get it.
Right.
If there is a movie equivalent, perhaps that's what it is. All right, so we rate a movie as a schmovie, a movie, or a film. We rate it 1 through 5 stars and give our final thoughts and recommendations. Michelle, would you like to go first?
Sure.
All right, so for you, I wrote down a 4-star film.
Ooh. For me, this is a 4.5 movie.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I almost want to give it 5 stars, but
Yeah.
for some reason, my gut is like, it's almost like 4.8.
Sure.
I think this is such a beautiful movie. There's so much to it, like I said. There's so much into this world that you can go into. I would be interested to see other versions of it. Like, I've never seen The Wiz. I've never seen any of the TV show adaptations. I've only seen now scenes from the short silent films that Baum put out, but there's just so much to learn. And if you haven't seen this, I am recommending it. And I would love to meet the person who hasn't seen this movie. For you, I wrote down my rating, which is a 4.5 movie.
Oh, okay. Before we started our Wizard of Oz journey and prep, like I said, I kind of always was like, I don't really like the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very wrong. That was a little silly of me. Maybe it was the feet curling up, I don't know. But I gotta say it's a 5-star film.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel like the kind of movie where it's like, you know what? Of course it is. It really is as good as it is. And one of my criteria for like what is a perfect movie or what's a 5-star movie is does it do what it sets out to do? And I think that it does. I think the ending is quite abrupt, but
Right.
we see the point of the story several times already, you
I,
know? So it's not like a real revelation, her epiphany, you know?
right.
But yes, for me, this is a 5-star film. This is kind of one of those movies where it's like, of course, it is actually as good as people say that it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really glad that I spent a week. You know, I read some of the books years ago.
Mm.
They're good. They're fine, fun children's fables. And, but beyond that, I've never really dove too far into Oz. And this week has been a lot of Oz. And I never got bored of the movie. I'll also say that. Like,
Yeah.
I found this movie to be watchable every single time I watched it. Every single time. It flies by. I don't think, I mean, like you said, the poppy scene is kind of nothing.
I'm not bored by it,
The
but
Emerald City is just not as good as Munchkinland, but I found the movie to be watchable. And I even wondered, I was like, I've always wanted to do a project where I take 1 year and I watch one movie as many times in that year as I possibly can. And I was like, Wizard of Oz would probably be a good candidate.
you know what movie you could do that? You could do that with Fool's Gold.
Oh,
I know a person who would do that with you too.
oh my gosh. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
2026 is coming.
You never know.
All right. Does this movie pass the Seth Shell test? The Seth Shell test is our spin on the Bechdel test. We require that a movie contains something tangible that is impressive, whether choreography, production design, or practical effect, and it must have a runtime that is justified by its content. This is yes and yes for me, especially on the production design. The production design makes this movie.
Agreed. Yes, yes for me as well.
Hey, if you were impressed with our production design and our runtime, I know this is a pretty long episode. We'd love it if you give us a rating or review wherever you're listening. You can also send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what we got wrong or right about The Wizard of Oz. Can you believe that we didn't talk about the apples?
Can
Oh
you
my
believe we
gosh.
didn't even talk about the tornado and how they did that?
Send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. You can also support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Hey, look, folks, we might not always be here, okay? One day, Michelle and I might wake up and be like, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what will help that from not, from not happening? Is if you join us on our journey down the yellow brick road. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Look, you get to join our Discord, okay? You get ad-free episodes. You get to nominate and then vote on movies every month, every quarter. A whole theme is voted by our patrons. Come on. That's my best pitch, really. It's just come on. And hey, like we mentioned, we've got a merch store, which is available. Check the show notes for the link. You know, buy a shirt. Christmas is coming. Buy yourself a Christmas present. That's what happens, right?
Or put it on your wish list. Make it
Oh,
super
yeah.
easy for people who are like, what should I get you this year? Just send them the link and then they can just
Say,
check out.
make mine movie friends.
There you go. Make mine movie friends.
All right. Oof. Do you feel that a large weight has been lifted off of our shoulders?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our 250 something episode.
That
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 was number 250. I just want to throw that out there. Okay. That's how we commemorated the event. But like, we are taking a big bite, man, out of the movies.
Yeah.
And this was a big one.
You know, this was also a part of the Great Movie Ride at Disney.
Oh my
I had
God.
to. So that was also a very early childhood memory. I was like, Michelle, don't say it. Michelle, don't say it. She couldn't help it.
I literally feel like someone just like pulled my plug. And I'm not even bothered by it. It's just like, I can't believe, of course, with this one, yes, it does make sense. It's just, I can't believe that over 250 episodes, you have mentioned a ride associated with the movies like 100 times.
I'm sorry. I can't.
Don't.
It's who I am, you know?
All right. Well, next week's episode, if there's a movie ride associated with this, I would be very surprised. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really talk about our theme, which I don't think anybody really cares, but our theme for November is kind of like ladies of the 20th century. How about that?
Yeah.
Sure. So we started with Wizard of Oz, and next week we are moving on to Coffee from 1973. It's directed by Jack Hill. It is 90 minutes.
Ooh.
Yes. And this is our first foray into the blaxploitation genre and time period, which I'm very excited about.
Me too.
Yeah. And now, have you seen Coffee?
I haven't. No.
Very excited.
Yeah. Yes, I'm excited about this.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Seth.
This was a big one. This was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, thank you very much for listening. And remember, folks, there's no place like home. Until next time, when we're talking about coffee, thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.